Happy Monday. We're back for Mindset Monday. I am super excited to be here. And before we get started, I want to say this. I am so grateful. I am so grateful this morning. Um, Kayla is not going to be joining us today because she's dealing with winter storm issues right now. And I just want to say that if you have electricity and you have heat and you have power this morning, I am so glad to hear that. And if you don't, you're not watching this, but I want you to know that if you catch the replay, if you see the recording, if you see this later, my heart is with you. There are hundreds of thousands of people right now who do not have electricity or heat. And this winter storm has proven that it may or may not have been everything that it was predicted to be where you are, but it has already proven to be everything that they predicted it to be for some of us. And it is having dire consequences and situations right now. So I want to start there with gratitude and thoughts and positive vibes for all of the people that are struggling right now with that. So that being said, I want to get into the things that we're going to talk about today. Monday is really not just about motivation, right? It's not just about motivation. It's not just about encouragement. What it is about is it's a space that we want to exist so we can anchor you in your professional identity as an independent client-funded advocate. I want to be able to talk about the tension that you might be carrying as you're building your practice and your profession. And I want to start normalizing the discomfort that comes with leading a real practice, a privately funded, client-funded, independent advocacy practice. So let's get grounded in that, right? Like let's really feel that in what we're doing today. Last week we talked about the idea that confidence is not a prerequisite. It's actually a byproduct of our commitment. So, in other words, confidence doesn't come first. Decisions come first, right? So this week, I want to build on top of that because once we make the commitment, the question stops being, can I do this? And it becomes, who am I becoming as I do this, right? So today's quote is by Zig Ziglar. It says, what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. And I want to be really clear. This is not just that motivational fluff. This is truly a leadership observation. The reason that this matters professionally right now is because outcomes do not define our leadership. Let that sit for just a minute. Outcomes do not define our leadership. Patterns do, right? So hitting a goal once doesn't tell me anything about your practice. What tells the truth is how you operate while you're pursuing your goals. See, last week on the Power Hour, we talked about your first 90 days and developing your roadmap and setting some goals. And it really got me to thinking about why we set the goals and what happens if we set these goals and we don't achieve them, right? And it got me really into this whole idea of outcomes. Like we're not in control of outcomes at all. We can set up these great goals and we can do all of the things that it takes to achieve the goals, and we may or may not actually achieve them. But what's important about this and this process is what happens and how do you operate while you're pursuing those goals. That's where you build your leadership and your professionalism in your practice, right? It's your habits, it's your standards, it's your follow through when no one is watching, right? Because some people don't even know what your goals might be. But when you build these habits and you build these standards and how you follow through when no one's watching, that is what builds your professional authority and your leadership style, right? So in client funded advocacy, right, you actually become who you become is inseparable from what clients trust you with. Now, we talk about this a lot. Clients are not buying your effort. They're not buying your intention, right? They're buying your steadiness, your trustworthiness, your ability to show up. They're buying your ability to make decisions under pressure, right? And to hold boundaries and to lead with clarity when things get really complicated and messed up. That's what they're buying from you. And that doesn't come from the goal you set. It doesn't come from the outcome you get. It comes from the identity that you're building while you're pursuing it, right? And that's what's so important in all of this. So really, this is where your CEO responsibility shows up in your practice, right? Your CEO level leadership is not measured by achievement spikes, right? Like goals hit, all of this. It's actually measured by identity consistency. So do you show up consistently the same way time after time after time? Again, those are built by those habits that you build while you're trying to get to your goals, right? So remember, anybody can push hard for a short season, right? Like it's that hustle mentality that we sometimes talk about, right? If you hustle really hard, then you can get you may achieve your goal, right? But if you only do it for a short period of time and then you fall off of it and you can't sustain it, because this is what we talk about a lot around here, is building this sustainable practice, right? For the long term so that we can help patients and families for years to come. It means we have to be able to be sustainable and do it over and over again. And a hard push, a really hard hustle right now for a short season isn't going to be sustainable, right? You can't do that forever. True leaders become people who execute predictably. Ooh, right? We Leaders are people who execute predictably. That means over and over and over, that leader is going to show up and how that's going to look and what that's going to feel like. So again, it goes back to building those habits, creating consistency. And that, my friends, is built by setting those goals, setting that 90-day roadmap, and like showing up day after day after day. Remember, you hear me say a lot, think once, execute daily, because true leadership is about executing predictably, right? All right, so here's the identity reframe that I want you to sit with today, this mindset part, right? Most advocates think goals are about proving their capability, their ability to hit the goals. But real CEOs understand that goals are training grounds for professional identity. Ooh, right? Goals are training grounds. This is how we set ourselves up to create consistent, predictable habits as leaders and create our true professional identity. The goal, the outcome, that's really not the point. That's what we're striving for, right? But it's not the point of what we're doing. Who we're becoming while we pursue it is the point, right? Because the leader that I want to be isn't the leader that I am today, right? And so I've got to continue to pursue that and improve my predictability and build on my leadership. So I want to say this very, very clearly. The goal is not the point. The standard you build while you're pursuing that goal, that is the point of what we're doing. So here's the question I want you to answer honestly. You can answer not necessarily out loud, but just for yourself, right? Or you can share it with us, either way. What kind of operator, what kind of leader are your current goals forcing you to become? What kind of leader or operator are your current goals forcing you to become? And that answer matters more than whether you hit the actual milestone or goal. Okay? What kind of leader or operator are your current goals forcing you to become? I'm going to say to you, for me right now, it's actually forcing me to become more flexible, if you can believe that. Like, I think that I'm pretty flexible, but um, the goals that I have currently are really moving me into a new season. And it feels kind of good, right? Like I am enjoying it. I enjoy learning new things. And I think that is absolutely the real goal of having goals. Right? The goal of having goals is to grow. And that is if you feel like you're stretching yourself, if it gets a little bit uncomfortable, that is probably exactly where you need to be. All right. So if this has clarified anything for you, I am working on going deeper on how to identify how your identity actually translates into execution. We're going to have a YouTube video drop this week on our new channel in regards to that. So watch for that. And then, of course, join us in our weekly advocacy power hour on Wednesdays, because remember, clarity comes first, application follows. So again, just to kind of close this up, I know we're about 15 minutes short, and I tell you that's because I'm doing this by myself and I don't have my co-host here to kind of have a real conversation. But I hope that this has been helpful in regards to understanding how you can utilize your goals and let go of the outcomes and focus on what you're becoming and who you're becoming and the leader that you are building by having these goals and setting some execution and predictability in your practice. And remember, we're thinking about all of you out there in the country that are struggling with the consequences of this winter storm. We miss you. We love you. We are sending wonderful I saw pictures of Nashville this morning and my heart is just super heavy. I have quite a few clients, I'm from Nashville. I'm not currently in Nashville, but I'm telling you, I saw pictures this morning and had to send some messages out to some clients, and I'm hoping that they're okay. I'm hoping that I'm going to hear back from them. It has been really bad in Middle Tennessee from this storm, and so and not just there, but I'm just saying those are where my people are, and we have people on the East Coast. Kayla's not here because she is dealing with some consequences from the winter storm as well. So just know that we're sending out positive vibes, prayers, and good thoughts for everybody that's without power and working through the winter storm. Y'all have a great week. I want you to be thinking about, don't forget the question that I ask you and want you to really spend some time pondering this week is, what kind of leader or operator in your practice are your current goals forcing you to become? Because that's what this is all about. I'd love to hear it in the comments below. And if you want to, send me an email on that. And for, shout out for Lori from last week. Hey, listen, I got my note. I have your email, but I can't remember what I was supposed to send you. So drop me an email. Let me know. Remind me what I need to send to you. All right, everybody have a great week. We will see you back here next Monday for some more positivity and inspiration. In the meantime, stay safe, stay warm, and take care of everyone in your life. Talk to you later. Bye-bye, guys.